Hi everyone, this is Alexis. I wanted to take this opportunity to explain some of the visions that have been happening in relationship to profound changes that are actually happening within our blueprint, our DNA. And this is affecting us individually and collectively as a whole as well. I wrote Beyond Doorways the final edition of Beyond Doorways in 2006. And at that time, I had completed developing all of the transference healing procedures that helps people not only understand alchemy and work alchemically with their body through running the procedures of transference healing, but also to bring through and work specifically with changes that are happening in the global grid matrix system that actually formulates not only our DNA blueprint, but alchemically the whole functionality of our body. Now, what I did through Beyond Doorways is channel through and give insight to how the grid is changing and how I foresee our body changing from a third dimensional body and being encoded to organically rebirth into a sixth dimensional blueprint. And that would have happened around 1999 to 2012. And it was from that point in time that I said we would begin a whole new cycle of evolution. Now, this has been prophesied in ancient texts, but really what my channeling was designed to do was to actually explain how our body is evolving from a carbon third dimensional body into a more crystalline light system, a fifth dimensional system, which we call the Adam Kadmon body, which is the fifth dimensional body of light. Now, it's from 1999 onwards to 2020 that we were actually going through quite profound changes in our DNA. And this is, I even foreseen global dis-ease manifesting on the planet. So you could say I predicted COVID. And COVID was a catalyst for us to really go into introspection and reconnect to source and really delve in our patterning, begin to learn to heal ourselves. Now, from this point on in time, we're actually through the birthing of this new blueprint or fifth dimensional Adam Kadmon body, we're birthing our subtle bodies. And our subtle bodies incorporate a much more evolved light body system. We're clearing long-term genetic weaknesses that we've incarnated at different times in our evolution. We're now clearing that out of our patterning. We're going through a radical awakening to work to connect more to our higher self, and we're actually absorbing more pure prana, and our system's changing through our blueprint to enable us to kind of consolidate that prana in our body to actually anchor in our oversoul, which is the soul of our higher self. So we're actually in a radical awakening at this point in our evolution, really, and so is the planet. Now, this has been prophesied, but what's fascinating me now and what I'm doing is seeing the complexity of what star systems are birthing, interdimensional portholes, how the grid is changing, and how our system is actually consolidating as we awaken our oversoul and our light body and Merkaba. Now, once that births, you're consistently living then in higher consciousness. So you're entering a new stream of evolution, and there's a parallel stream running on the planet where people who are struggling to make that shift of consciousness will actually go through different initiations and dynamics to purify so that they can clear deep within them and make this shift to consciousness as well. So you could say that if we can make the changes within and awaken in this new way, reconnecting to our higher self and connecting directly through to source, we can absorb then through that state of consciousness more pure prana, and we're actually birthing our higher self on earth, and we're beginning to create our golden age on earth now. So this is an instrumental time, not only of healing and awakening in this time of incarnation, but in our whole evolutional process. So the book that I'm writing now is going into the complexity of these subtle systems. So I believe it's a book of alchemy that will stay on the planet even after I leave the planet. And it's what's so exciting that we can actually optimize this alchemy running on the planet and within our universe through transference healing and come to understand it more through the channelings that I'm doing. So the Beyond Always book is instrumental because I started to explain this process in this book 25 years ago, and develop transference healing. But really what I want to do in this webinar series coming up that's starting next week, it's a 3-part series, is reflect back on the book and show you a deeper meaning behind some of the teachings in the book and how you can work with certain meditations and invocations and procedures, specifically even more so now, that's going to enhance this divine blueprint to birth more. And I really do feel that it's going to give me an opportunity to share also some of the writings that I've been doing in Revelations and show that some of these key concepts that I'm giving is already started to be explored in the Beyond Always book. I do believe when the book of Revelation that I'm writing finally comes out, it really will be a textbook of alchemy. It'll be very alchemical when you read it, like Beyond Always. But what we will do is give you a bigger picture and a philosophical picture or a spiritual picture on concepts that we identify with when we run the energy transference healing or we read back on the Beyond Always book. So I picked the book up a couple of months ago after writing so much information around this alchemy happening in our body. And this is the alchemy too that when I tap into the body now and I'm teaching or I'm doing this webinar series or I'm actually training, I'm actually running this new alchemical energy that I see birthing in us. I'm running it more fluently. So I'm helping people co-create that alchemy in their body. Do you see? Because of that awareness that I have. And I'm working specifically with the changes that are going on for the rebirthing of our divine I am. And I really want to be able to be in a position to explain this more to people as I complete writing the book of Revelation. And then once that book comes out, people then will have a much bigger picture on what they've been learning about and what they've been absorbing through the work that I'm doing. And then they can even then encapsulate and accelerate the possibilities for them. So to me, it's like I'm being guided by a spirit to go back and touch the patterning of people to help them to heal symptomatically, but to help them to heal restrictions for the birthing specifically of the atom cadmium body, these subtle bodies forming. And it really is quite a divine process that I'm being very blessed to see, to understand, to learn about, and to teach. So I'm really looking forward to spending some time with you in the future, and specifically for those that choose to book in to this 3-part series that begins next week. Thank you, and blessings.